Hey guys, so earlier today I was looking through all the comments on my videos and I realized that there was a lot lately asking how I edit. And so I wanted to do a little video kind of explaining everything that involves post-producing a video. From the basic stuff to the music choice to the color grading, I just wanted to go through all of that. So if you're not into filmmaking or making videos at all, then just don't watch this video and come back tomorrow. Otherwise, here we go. Alrighty, welcome to my computer screen. First off, I want to mention that I use Final Cut Pro 10, but this will basically work with any editor. It's pretty simple techniques. It's just the basic overlook. So I was trying to figure out a good way to just show you my workflow, so I decided I would recreate the intro to this video and just show you how I made it. New project. I always upload in 1080p at 24 frames per second because this has a more cinematic look. Alright, so now comes the importing part. Now, most people use the little import option in Premiere or in Final Cut that you can just do it directly, which is a way that works, but for me, I use the File Explorer. So in my case, I use Finder, which just to me is a little cleaner, and then you don't have to import everything and wait at once. You can just import things as you go along. So I never wait for all the clips to import, I just import them as I use them. So as you all know, basically every one of my videos is completely based off the music. So I kind of wanted to run down where I find the music, and most of the time it's from sites like Audio Micro or Epidemic Sound, or even sometimes the YouTube Audio Library. These are just royalty-free sites that when you use the music, you know that they're copyright-free, and it's just easy to find tracks there of a certain genre. But I always try to avoid this, and I try and use SoundCloud instead. This way I can find individual artists that then we can both promote each other, and it just works out better for everyone. I do want to note though, if someone doesn't explicitly show that they allow music usage in videos, be sure to contact them, email them, any other way that you can get to them, because you want to make sure that they're okay with you using their beats, and then you also kind of create a relationship with the artist, and maybe you can work together in the future. Alright, so once I found the music, I throw it into my iTunes library. This way I can just organize all the different songs that I have. So for this video, I found this one, so I just drag it into the timeline, and now comes the real editing part. I usually try and keep the audio waves a little bit below peaking, this way there's no chance of distortion. I think one of the main things that you should learn before you even start to edit with some sort of an editor is the keyboard shortcuts, because they have majorly affected my workflow. For example, in Final Cut, the B key opens up the split tool. This way I can choose the exact part of the video that I want to use, and you can cut it around. So now I'm going to line this up with the music, which is one of my favorite editing techniques and one of the ones that most people comment about. It's phenomenally easy, it just takes a little more time. So I can just drag this back and line it up with the audio waves, so then I just repeat the same steps for the next few clips. So now I have all the clips lined up with the music. I think something that everyone should learn how to do is group clips in the editor. In Final Cut, you can select clips, right click, and choose new compound clip. This way all of them go into a single clip and you can edit them, add effects to them, change them all at once. One of my favorite techniques, just to make it a little more cinematic, is to add the letterbox effect. This way you can put it into the more anamorphic aspect ratio. Shots are already looking a lot better than they did. Now it's time to add color grading. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is edit all of these at once and then go back and change the individual clips if necessary. For nature shots, my favorite color grading to do is just to bump up the saturation a little bit and then go and increase the contrast by bringing up the global and then taking down the shadows. This way you get kind of a more rich view of the shots that you got. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in individually here and change them separately. For example, this clip I think needed a little more saturation even with the added saturation. Now look back at it and it looks great. Don't add too much saturation though, because I've totally done this before and it makes it look like you're trying way too hard. And we're basically done. Now all I did is add a little lens flare here. As you can see, as the sun comes out, I thought it'd be kind of a cool transition if there was a lens flare. And Final Cut has a transition that does that really simply, so you can just drag it on here, and as this goes. Okay, so we finished the intro. So in order to show all the different things that I do, I wanted to also show the creation of the title screen. One of my favorite things to do is to add this effect called film burns. That's how I create this crazy rainbow effect, and it makes it a really cool transition or a background. These are a few that I've downloaded from a site. I will link that in the description. Alright, so I drop it in here, and you can instantly notice that the effects are obviously different and the aspect ratio changes. So what I can do in Final Cut is copy this clip and then go to Edit, and I can paste effects. This way, this clip also has the same aspect ratio and the same color grading. Now you can just do some simple text formatting. In order to crop these words out to sync to the music, I like to use masking tool. First, I'll just cut it up to the beats of the music. Okay, now that they're all cut up, just choose each one and draw a really simple shape just to show exactly what you want in the video. It's going to start off just with the word how, so I will just isolate this in a little box. Don't need to be very precise here. And there we go. So now the intro is finalized, and it's time to add the talking part. Go to my SD card on a file explorer. One thing I would say when you're editing a clip with audio, try and separate the audio track with the video if possible. You can either detach the audio and make it its entirely own track, or in the case of Final Cut, when you press Ctrl S, it opens this up. This way the audio track can stay separate while the video changes, but it will stay along with the video, so you won't have to constantly worry about lining it up. One of my favorite techniques to use is a slide or a swish or a swoosh, whatever transition. So you can either use the wipe transition or a slide transition. Lately, I've just been using a slide in, but you can also make it slide push, and this doesn't look very natural unless you have a clear sound with it. So I went to Audio Micro, and I found a little swish sound, and hey guys, there we go. Now going into something that I think every editor should know how to do at least a little bit, and that is keyframes. I wanted to show all the comments that I've gotten about how I edit my videos, so I compiled them into a little folder. Now I'm just going to drag each one onto the timeline. So right now they're just a piled mess on the timeline, but that will not be the case for very long. And here comes in keyframes. So in Final Cut, it's this button. It's going to go ahead and start off at 0% scale. We're going to go ahead and press the button, go a few frames, and then bring that up to a little bit bigger than you want in the end. So I'm going to put that up to 80%, and then 2 more frames, and I'll bring it down to 76, I'll just do that. So now as it opens, it gives a nice little bounce animation. It makes it look just a little bit smoother. So now I'm going to copy it and paste it to each of the others. And now I will line them up. I'm doing this quickly, so that was a little sloppy, but now as you can see, they will all pop up as an animation. So now I'm going to select them all and use the same compound clip technique. And I wanted all of them to have a shadow, so I'm going to go get a drop shadow effect, drop it on there, and now all of them have shadows. And that's pretty much where we are. Now I'll just cut that. Alright, and that is the end of that part of the video. I just want to show my face for a few seconds. Hi, I don't know if this is going to work. My hair's a mess today, I don't know what's going on. I just want to quickly say that I am by no means an expert at this, and I know a lot of these things are horrible ways to do it. It's just what I've learned how to do, it's what I do every day. Only ever watched 2 tutorials, I don't know the official way to do things. And I know that wasn't very in-depth, I could have gone a little more in-depth, but I didn't want to make the video too long, and I also am not very good at tutorials. And so that's the end of this video. So I hope it helped a little bit. If it did, push thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you then. Okay, see ya. Stop recording now.